Welcome. Today we're taking a deep dive into a place where, well, the very air around you seems to whisper ancient tales, where sunlight really struggles to pierce this incredible emerald canopy, and where the scent of pine and damp earth just wraps you in this profound, almost primal embrace. Imagine yourself stepping onto a forest floor that seems perpetually cloaked in a kind of mystical twilight, the cool, clean air just invigorating your senses. This isn't just any forest, this is the Black Forest, or Schwarzwald, of Germany, a region whose profound sensory immersion is precisely what gives it its name and, frankly, its enduring, powerful allure. Our mission today is to truly unpack how this iconic German heartland, so famous for its deep, dark forests and its indelible ties to some of the world's most enduring fairy tales, is a place where reality and myth are not merely intertwined. They seem absolutely inseparable. It's like stepping into a living, breathing storybook that has been unfolding for centuries, shaped by both nature and human imagination.
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we've really meticulously extracted the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight from our sources, especially from Into the Black Forest, Germany's enchanted heartland. Our goal is to offer you, the listener, a kind of shortcut to being truly well-informed about this enchanting region, allowing you to understand its unique blend of tangible landscapes and, well, that mythical allure. Think of it as peeling back the layers of a story you thought you knew intimately, only to discover just so much more richness, so much more history, and so much more wonder beneath the surface. It's an invitation, really, to see the Black Forest, not just as a destination, but as a narrative.
And what better place to start unraveling that narrative than with the very name itself, the Black Forest? I mean, it's so evocative, so potent, isn't it? Expert, what's the real story behind how this region got its powerful, almost, you know, foreboding name?
That's a great question because the origin of the name Black Forest is far more revealing than you might initially think. It wasn't a name chosen by the people who lived there, not by the inhabitants who knew its hidden paths and its sun-dappled clearings. Instead, it was bestowed by outsiders. When the formidable Roman legions, during their imperial expansion, attempted to march through this corner of southwestern Germany, their advance was met with, well, a literal wall of nature.
A wall of nature, wow.
Yeah, they encountered this massive, seemingly impenetrable mountain range just cloaked in incredibly dense, dark conifers, pines and firs that grew so thickly together they created this perpetual shadow on the forest floor, basically blocking out the sun.
Ah, okay.
So for these Romans who were accustomed to more open, cultivated landscapes, this was a formidable, maybe even intimidating barrier. So in their pragmatic military way, they simply called it Silva Nigra,
Silva Nigra.
the Black Forest. It was a character description, really born of awe and perhaps a little bit of strategic frustration at its formidable, almost wild presence.
Silva Nigra, the Black Forest. It's powerful how a simple name, given by, like, a conquering force, could set the stage for centuries of perception. But you mentioned something about older names. Was there a different understanding of this place before the Romans arrived?
Absolutely. And what's fascinating here is how that Roman designation became, as we were saying, the opening line of a story that would shape global perceptions.
Yeah.
But before Rome, the indigenous Celtic peoples, they had a far more reverent connection. They referred to parts of it as Abnoba Mons, dedicated to Abnoba, who was a local Celtic deity associated with the forest and springs.
Abnoba Mons, so more sacred.
Exactly. This wasn't a name born of strategic impediment or foreboding mystery, but one of deep sacredness. It hints at a spiritual relationship with the land that long predates any written history or conquest. Imagine a time when the forest wasn't black, but sacred,
Yeah.
a source of life and spiritual connection, not just a barrier. That shift from the revered Abnobamons to the foreboding Silva Nigra already tells us so much about how external perception can profoundly shape a place's identity, and then how that place, in turn, shapes our collective imagination. It's a compelling example of how a name itself can carry just layers of history and meaning.
And imagination, as you said, is precisely where this story gets truly captivating. Because this dark, ancient forest isn't just a place, it's literally the soil from which some of the world's most enduring stories grew. We're talking about the spiritual home, the very plausible setting for many of the Brothers Grimm's most famous fairy tales.
Right.
When you close your eyes and picture Hansel and Gretel, lost and bewildered, or Sleeping Beauty pricking her finger in some secluded castle, or Rapunzel letting down her long golden hair from a hidden tower. Mm-hmm.
The imagery of these winding woodland trails and deep, shadowy valleys of the Black Forest just seamlessly fit. It's not just a passive backdrop for these narratives, is it? The forest feels like an active, almost sentient participant, shaping the characters' fates in the very atmosphere of the tales.
It absolutely is. And this creates a fascinating, almost inescapable, self-reinforcing cycle. The foreboding, mysterious, and deeply atmospheric landscape of the Schwarzwald perfectly suited these dark, often cautionary fairy tales. It provided an ideal canvas for narratives of witches and talking animals, of lost children confronting both danger and wonder.
Right, like the perfect stage.
Exactly. The density of the trees, the sudden clearings, the hidden springs, all these elements find echoes in the Grimm's narratives. And in turn, these globally recognized and beloved tales, from Hansel and Gretel's desperate journey through the woods to the enchanted slumber within Sleeping Beauty's thicket or Rapunzel's isolated tower surrounded by dense woods, these have become the primary lens through which the world experiences the Black Forest.
So people come expecting fairy tales. Almost, yeah. People come here almost expecting to stumble upon the witch's gingerbread house, or maybe hear the lament of a lonely princess. So our journey today isn't just about a tour of a German region. It's really an exploration of the real, tangible places that inspired universal myths. It offers a truly unique opportunity to step directly into the pages of a storybook, allowing the physical landscape and our shared cultural narratives to merge seamlessly. And that makes the experience profoundly richer.
Okay, so from the stories that sprung from its shadows, let's now truly dive into the raw, majestic geography of this region. Because the Black Forest isn't just dark trees, it's this dramatic canvas of soaring mountains, crystalline lakes, and thundering waterfalls. Expert, when we talk about its peaks, we absolutely have to start with the Feldberg, don't we? What makes it truly stand out as the roof of the region beyond just its impressive height?
That's a great question. Because while it's 1,493 meters, or about 4,898 feet, certainly make it imposing, its significance runs far deeper than just altitude. The Feldberg stands as the highest mountain in Germany outside of the Alps, yes, but its true dominance is really a testament to immense geological time.
Immense time.
Yeah, its bedrock, for instance, is composed of incredibly ancient, resistant rock, something like 1 billion years old.
1 billion, wow.
Right. And to put that in perspective, the peak you gaze upon today is actually what geologists refer to as the third Feldberg.
Get that bird.
Yes.
Yeah.
This isn't just a mountain, it's a geological saga. It's the result of three distinct colossal cycles of continental uplift, followed by extensive erosion from wind and water, and then further sculpted by the grinding power of glacial activity over countless eons. It's like a living monument to the Earth's enduring dynamic forces, constantly being shaped and reshaped. And when you reach its summit, the reward is one of the most breathtaking panoramic views you can find in all of Germany.
Okay, paint us a picture. What can you see from up there?
Well, on a clear winter day, for example, especially when a temperature inversion traps the clouds in the valleys below, creating this kind of sea of fog, the vista is truly unparalleled. To the west, you can trace the entire undulating spine of the Vosges Mountains in France, stretching for miles from the Ballon d'Alsace all the way to Mont Saltadil.
Wow, into France.
Yeah, and then to the northeast, the full chain of the Swabian Jura unfolds like a distant, rippling blue wave. But perhaps most magnificent is the truly grand sweep of the Swiss Alps to the south. A snow-capped, jagged wall that seems to stretch endlessly from Austria's Saintes Peak all the way to the iconic Mont Blanc.
Mont Blanc, from the Black Forest.
On a clear day, absolutely. This incredible vantage point visually places the Black Forest firmly at the geographical heart of Western Europe, connecting it in one sweeping gaze to its diverse neighbors. And its wild character is further underscored by its harsh subalpine climate. It's not uncommon for the summit to be covered in snow for an average of 157 days a year.
That's a long winter.
It is. And due to its exposed location, it can be battered by hurricane-force winds at pretty much any time. It's beautiful, yes, but also a stark reminder of nature's raw, untamed power.
Absolutely wild. And nestled within these majestic, untamed highlands, almost like jewels mirroring the sky, are the region's beautiful glacial lakes. The most famous, I think, and perhaps the most immediately recognizable, is Titisee. Expert.
Yeah.
What makes this 2-kilometer jewel so special?
Titisee is indeed a true gem, the largest natural lake in the Black Forest. Its picturesque basin was meticulously carved out by the immense forces of glaciers during the last ice age, leaving behind this pristine, deep body of water.
Carved by glaciers, okay.
Exactly. Its crystal clear waters and stunning scenic setting make it a postcard-perfect destination. It's a vibrant hub for all sorts of recreational activities. On any given warm day, you'll see people swimming in its refreshing waters, sailing gracefully across its surface, or just enjoying a leisurely stroll along its bustling lakeside promenade lined with cafes and shops. It truly embodies that classic idyllic charm, drawing visitors seeking active enjoyment and a lively atmosphere.
And in beautiful contrast to the more bustling Titisee, we have Schluchsee. What kind of experience does this lake offer? It sounds different.
Schluchsee offers a distinctly different, perhaps more contemplative experience. While Titisee is the largest natural lake, Schluchsee is actually the region's largest lake overall. And notably, it's Germany's highest reservoir, sitting at an elevation of 930 meters above sea level.
A reservoir, so it's man-made, partly.
Well, it began its life as a smaller glacial lake, but its form was significantly expanded between 1929 and 1932 when the River Schwarzwald was dammed. This wasn't merely for aesthetic appeal, it was a major feat of engineering undertaken to generate vital hydroelectric power for the region.
Ah, practical reasons, too.
Definitely. So while Titisee buzzes with activity, Schluchsee offers this profound sense of tranquility. Its 18-kilometer shoreline is almost entirely accessible, surrounded by extensive walking and hiking trails that wind through dense forests and offer breathtaking views. It truly invites visitors to find solitude and space, making it a favorite for those wishing for a deeper, quieter immersion into the landscape, a more personal connection with nature, kind of away from the crowds.
From the serene stillness of the lakes to pure, raw power. Expert, you must be thinking of the Triberg Waterfalls, where the Gutach River unleashes a truly dramatic spectacle. Describe it for us.
Oh, the Triberg Waterfalls are indeed a magnificent display of nature's force and artistry. Here, the Gutach River absolutely thunders down a staggering 163 meters through this rugged V-shaped valley. It cascades over 7 major tiers in a truly powerful and mesmerizing display. The sheer volume of water, the continuous roar, and the fine mist rising from the torrent create this really awe-inspiring sensory experience.
7 tiers?
Yes, it's quite the drop. And what's truly remarkable about these falls is their all-season appeal. Each time of year presents them with a different captivating character. In summer, the fine mist they create is said to refresh the air, and some visitors even find its atmosphere particularly soothing. There's a belief it can provide relief for conditions like asthma.
Interesting.
Yeah, and as evening descends, the falls are beautifully illuminated until around 10 p.m., transforming the scene into a magical, romantic spectacle, a shimmering curtain of light and water against the dark forest. Then, in the depths of winter, the rushing water freezes, creating this silent, glittering wonderland of unique ice formations and sculptures. It's a truly enchanting sight.
Wow, frozen waterfalls.
It's incredible. And while you'll find signs at the entrance proudly proclaiming them Germany's highest waterfall, which is a charming piece of local pride, it's worth noting that the nation's true highest is actually the Rothbach Fall down in Bavaria. But, that geographical distinction certainly doesn't diminish the Triberg Falls' dramatic impact or their sheer undeniable beauty.
Right. Still incredibly impressive. Okay, speaking of nature's power and humanity's evolving relationship with it, there's a new and very important chapter in the Black Forest story being written within the Black Forest National Park. Established in 2014, it's the first and only national park in the state of Baden-Württemberg, and it operates under this incredibly powerful philosophy, letting nature be nature. It's not about manicured landscapes, right? It's about allowing the forest to heal, to regenerate, and to return to its primeval, wild state. Expert, how did this philosophy come to be, and what does it actually mean in practice?
Well, the park's very existence and its core philosophy are intrinsically linked to a natural disaster that exposed the ecological consequences of past human interventions. For over a century, the rich, original mixed forests of the Black Forest, with their diverse tree species and robust ecosystems, were systematically replaced by these tidy monocultures.
Monoculture, like just one type of tree.
Exactly. Vast, uniform tracts of a single species, primarily spruce. This was done for commercial forestry, creating rows of identical, shallow-rooted trees optimized purely for logging efficiency. These monocultures, however, were ecologically vulnerable. Then, in December 1999, the devastating cyclone Lothar raged across the region with hurricane-force winds.
Oh, I remember hearing about Lothar.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
And these vulnerable, shallow-rooted monocultures were absolutely devastated. The storm simply flattened them across huge swaths of land. This destructive power of Lothar, though tragic, became a pivotal moment, a stark lesson that really spurred the creation of the national park.
So the storm led directly to the park?
In many ways, yes. Today, the aftermath of that storm is a key educational tool within the park. You can walk the Lothar path, which is this captivating forest educational trail. It leads visitors directly through a 10-hectare area that was flattened by the hurricane and has been deliberately left entirely untouched.
Left untouched, so you see the damage.
You see the damage, but more importantly, you witness nature's remarkable capacity for regeneration firsthand. You see the tangled wreckage of fallen trees slowly decomposing, providing nutrients for new life. Saplings of diverse native species like beech and silver fir are now pushing through the debris, reclaiming the landscape. Wild berries, mosses, and ferns carpet the forest floor, and various wildlife are returning.
Wow, nature fighting back.
Exactly. This entire narrative, from the historic clear-cutting to the creation of vulnerable monocultures, to the catastrophic storm, and finally to the establishment of the national park, really highlights a profound philosophical shift. It's a conscious decision to step back, to allow wildness to return, and to learn from the ecological consequences of attempting to control and tame this powerful ancient landscape. The park's long-term goal is to allow the forest to evolve naturally, fostering greater biodiversity and resilience, truly recognizing that the forest isn't a static resource, but a dynamic, evolving ecosystem that demands respect and protection. It allows its true wild identity to reemerge, which, perfectly aligns with our theme of where reality and myth converge.
That's fascinating. So from the wild heart of the forest, where nature is reclaiming its dominion, let's now journey to where human ingenuity and enduring traditions have carved their own stories into this magnificent landscape. It's truly fascinating to see how the very elements of the forest, its wood, its water, its spirit, have inspired the crafts, the culture, and the timeless towns we're about to explore. It really cements that inseparable link between myth and reality. Expert. What could be more emblematic of the Black Forest's human touch than the rhythmic call of the cuckoo clock?
You're absolutely right. The cuckoo clock is perhaps the most emblematic sound and image of the Black Forest. It's this delightful piece of folk art that has charmed the world. Its precise origins are actually debated. Some credit Franz Ketterer of Schönwald with its invention back in the 1730s, incorporating the distinctive cuckoo mechanism into local timepieces. Others suggest the design was inspired by earlier clocks brought by Bohemian merchants. But regardless of its specific genesis, the journey of the cuckoo clock from a niche regional craft to a global icon is a compelling story of innovation and marketing.
So how did it become so famous?
Well, here's where it truly becomes fascinating. The pivotal moment actually came in the mid-1850s, and it wasn't from a lone inventor, but from a design competition held by the prestigious Furtwangen Clockmaker School.
A design competition.
Yeah, an architect named Friedrich Eisenlohr submitted a design that was a radical departure from the more elaborate, heavily carved Baroque styles common at the time. His vision was a clock modeled on a modest railway guard's house, a Bahnhäusel.
A railway guard's house.
Yeah.
That's charming.
It is. This charming, easily recognizable form, often decorated with those iconic carved leaves and animals we associate with it, absolutely captured the imagination of the burgeoning middle class. It was simple, rustic, and universally appealing. This single design transformed the cuckoo clock from a relatively localized folk craft into a worldwide phenomenon. It sparked a thriving industry where specialized woodcarvers and intricate clockmakers collaborated. They exported these charming timepieces across the globe, establishing a lasting symbol of German craftsmanship. It's really a prime example of an invented tradition, a deliberate design choice that took on a life of its own, becoming synonymous with the entire region.
That's a powerful concept, expert invented traditions. It makes me wonder, how does understanding this idea fundamentally change how we should perceive the cultural symbols of any region, not just the Black Forest?
It's a crucial lens, host. Because when we see something like the cuckoo clock, or as we're about to discuss, the bowlen hut, our natural inclination is often to assume they've existed unchanged for centuries, a pure, organic expression of local life.
Right. Yeah, you just assume it's always been that way.
Exactly. But by recognizing them as invented traditions, we uncover the layers of conscious effort, artistic influence, marketing, and cultural curation that shaped their global perception. It's about understanding that culture isn't just found, it's actively forged and evolved. This doesn't diminish their authenticity, rather, it enriches it. It shows the human ingenuity in connecting a specific place to a universal symbol. It invites us, to look beyond the picturesque surface and appreciate the thoughtful process behind a region's enduring identity.
Building on that, another incredibly powerful symbol of the Black Forest is the bowlen hut. It's that striking formal headdress adorned with those large, vibrant woolen pom-poms. You see it everywhere in promotional materials for the region. But here's a fascinating truth that also speaks to invented tradition. It's not actually worn throughout the entire Black Forest. It's incredibly specific, isn't it?
It is indeed. The Ballon hut is the traditional attire exclusively of Protestant women from just 3 adjoining villages in the Kinzig Valley: Gutach, Kernbach, and Hornberg-Reichenbach.
Only 3 villages.
Just 3. It's a beautiful, intricate form of visual language, conveying the wearer's marital status through the color of its pom-poms. Unmarried women, typically from their confirmation until their wedding day, proudly wear hats adorned with vibrant red pom-poms.
The red ones, okay.
Yep. Upon marrying, they transition to a hat with black pom-poms. Each hat is meticulously handcrafted, with 14 pom-poms carefully sewn onto a stiffened straw base, weighing up to 2 kilograms.
2 kilograms? That's heavy.
It is. It's a striking piece of cultural art, worn primarily on festive occasions and for traditional events, a vibrant link to local identity. And its journey from hyper-local custom to a global emblem of the entire Black Forest region is a perfect illustration of how these traditions are curated and amplified.
So how did it become so famous?
Well, its rise to widespread recognition really began in the late 19th century, when the Gutach artist colony, fascinated by the unique costume, began depicting the Ballon hut in their widely circulated paintings. These artworks introduced the headdress to a broader audience.
Ah, the artists noticed.
Yeah, exactly. But its fame was truly cemented by the 1950 film Schwarzwald, or The Black Forest Girl.
A movie.
Yeah, which broadcast this picturesque image, almost like a romanticized postcard, to a global audience. From that point on, the Ballon hut became forever associated with the romantic ideal of the Black Forest, representing charm, tradition, and a certain fairy tale innocence. Both the Ballon hut and the cuckoo clock, as we've discussed, are prime examples of these invented traditions. Highly localized customs or designs that have been amplified, curated, and brilliantly marketed to represent the whole region. It adds this rich layer of complexity to its identity, showing us that what feels ancient and timeless can often have a surprisingly recent and deliberate origin in its widespread recognition.
Let's step back even further in time for a moment to an ancient craft expert, glassblowing. The art of glassblowing has roots in the Black Forest stretching all the way back to the 12th century. It's an elemental craft, relying on fire and raw materials, and it flourished here for a very simple yet compelling reason. What was it about this specific landscape that fostered such a fiery art?
It's truly a story of elemental synergy, host.
Well,
The Black Forest provided all the necessary raw materials in abundance, making it an ideal location for this energy-intensive craft. The vast woodlands supplied the enormous quantities of wood needed to fuel the fiery furnaces, which had to reach incredible temperatures to melt sand into glass.
right, you need a lot of fuel.
A lot. And for the ground, the region yielded silica sand, which is essentially quartz, the main component of glass. And potash, a critical fluxing agent used to lower the melting point of glass, was readily made from the ashes of the abundant beech trees. So in essence, the forest itself was the factory, providing every ingredient and every bit of fuel necessary. This ancient tradition is still very much alive today, a direct link to those early artisans.
Still going today.
At the Dorthinhut in Wolfach. It's the last remaining hand-blown glass factory in the region, and visitors can actually step into this living history. You can watch master artisans at work. It's a mesmerizing dance of skill and heat. They shape molten glass at temperatures exceeding 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit or about 1,100 degrees Celsius using centuries-old techniques.
That sounds intense.
It is. The atmosphere in the workshop is incredible. The intense heat radiating from the furnaces, the rhythmic hiss of the blowpipes, the glowing orange of the glass as it's manipulated and formed. And the experience is made even more memorable by the opportunity for visitors to try it for themselves. You can blow your own unique glass fez under expert guidance.
You can try it yourself.
You can. It's a truly tangible, fiery connection to centuries of craft. It allows you to touch and even shape the history of the Black Forest with your own hands.
And beyond these fascinating crafts, the Black Forest is home to a collection of historic towns, each an urban jewel offering a unique window into the region's soul, beautifully preserved and steeped in history. Expert, where should we begin our urban exploration?
Let's begin with Freiburg im Breisgau. It's often affectionately called the Sunny Capital. It's the vibrant, progressive heart of the southern Black Forest, a bustling university city known globally for its pioneering environmental policies and its beautifully preserved medieval old town.
Sunny and sustainable. Sounds great.
It really is. Imagine a city where cutting-edge sustainability meets centuries of history, creating a truly unique atmosphere. The skyline of Freiburg is utterly dominated by the magnificent Freiburg Minster, a Gothic cathedral whose soaring, filigreed 116-meter spire was famously described by the Swiss art historian Jacob Burckhardt as the most beautiful on earth.
A phrase.
It really is. And what's truly remarkable is that it's the only German Gothic church tower to have been completed entirely in the Middle Ages, and, astonishingly, to have survived the ravages of war completely intact. It stands as a testament to enduring craftsmanship.
Survived the wars. Amazing.
It is. But the city's most unique and charming feature is its intricate network of bächle.
Bach. What are those?
They are small, water-filled channels, like little trickling streams that run alongside the cobblestone streets. Originally a medieval water supply and firefighting system, they now add this delightful, almost musical gurgle to the city's soundtrack.
Little streams in the streets.
Exactly. And there's a charming local legend that any single person who accidentally steps into a bächle is destined to marry a Freiburger. A fun anecdote for visitors.
Watch your step then.
Indeed. And the vibrant life of the city truly converges daily at the Münsterplatz, the cathedral square. It hosts a bustling open-air market where local produce, artisanal crafts, and the aroma of fresh regional specialties create an irresistible sensory feast.
Okay, from the sunny capital, let's shift to Baden-Baden, on the northern edge of the forest. Its very name literally means to bathe, which tells you everything you need to know about its identity, built entirely on the healing thermal waters that have bubbled up from the earth here for millennia. This sounds like a place of ultimate relaxation and historical elegance.
It absolutely is, and its history is deeply steeped in this tradition of wellness. The Romans, under none other than Emperor Caracalla, were the first to establish elaborate baths here, recognizing the therapeutic properties of the mineral-rich springs.
Even the Romans knew.
Oh, yes. Then in the 19th century, the town experienced this glamorous rebirth, becoming known as the summer capital of Europe. It was a sophisticated playground for royalty, aristocrats, renowned artists, and the continental elite. Grand casinos, opera houses, magnificent villas were built, attracting luminaries from Queen Victoria to Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Quite the clientele.
Absolutely. This enduring legacy of wellness and elegance has earned it a well-deserved place on the UNESCO World Heritage List as one of the great spa towns of Europe. Visitors today can choose between two wonderfully distinct spa experiences, each offering a unique journey. There's the Friedrichsbad, which opened in 1877. It offers a traditional Roman-Irish bathing ritual, a sequence of 17 stages in this magnificent historic setting of frescoes and marble where clothing is optional.
17 stages.
Yeah, it's quite the ritual, inviting a true return to ancient traditions. In contrast, the modern Caracalla Spa is this sprawling complex of glass-domed pools, enchanting grottos, and a vast sauna landscape. It offers contemporary wellness in a sleek, expansive environment, appealing to those seeking modern luxury and comfort. It truly offers a choice between historical indulgence and modern rejuvenation.
And finally, let's go to Gengenbach, which feels like stepping into a storybook itself. Expert described this perfectly preserved medieval town nestled in the Kinzig Valley, often called the Pearl of the Kinzig Valley.
Gengenbach is an absolute gem. Host. A place so perfectly preserved that it truly feels like a film set. Every corner is just picturesque. Imagine stepping into its old town. A charming labyrinth of cobblestone streets, where around every turn you might discover a defensive tower like the majestic Kinzig Tor, standing guard for centuries. These streets are lined with impeccably maintained half-timbered houses, known as Fachwerkhäuser. Their intricate wooden designs and colorful facades tell stories of centuries past. It truly feels like stepping back in time, a place where history is alive in every architectural detail.
Sounds incredibly charming.
It is. But Gengenbach's most magical tradition unfolds each December, transforming the entire town square. Its elegant 18th century Rococo town hall morphs into the world's largest advent calendar house.
The town hall becomes an advent calendar.
The entire building. Every single evening, crowds gather in the market square, hushed with anticipation, as a new window on the town hall's facade is ceremoniously opened, revealing an enchanting artistic scene and counting down the days to Christmas. It's a truly captivating experience that brings that fairy tale connection right into the heart of the town, making the festive season here feel truly enchanted.
You know, all this talk of towns and traditions, history and architecture makes me wonderfully hungry. And the identity of the Black Forest isn't just seen and heard. It's also profoundly tasted. 3 iconic culinary products born directly from the unique resources of this landscape form a triumvirate of flavor that has traveled far beyond the forest's borders, becoming globally recognized. Expert, we have to start with the Schwarzwalder Kirschtorte, the world-famous Black Forest Gâteau. It's so much more than a simple chocolate cake, isn't it?
It truly is, host, and its complexity and authenticity are what make it so special. An authentic Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte is a masterclass in balance. Delicate layers of chocolate sponge cake, generously slathered with fresh whipped cream, and studded with tart, sour cherries.
It sounds delicious already.
Right. But the single indispensable ingredient that truly defines its authenticity and gives it its very soul is Kirschwasser, often simply called Kirsch.
Kirschwasser, the cherry brandy.
Exactly. It's a potent, clear cherry brandy that is crucially used to soak the cake layers, infusing them with a distinct, unsweetened fruitiness. And it's also used to flavor the cream and cherry filling. This isn't just a recipe, it's a protected piece of regional heritage. For a cake to be legally sold as Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte within the European Union, the Kirsch used in its preparation must be distilled from cherries grown specifically within the Black Forest region.
Wow, that's specific.
That specific. It elevates the dessert from a generic style to a specific geographical treasure. And there's that charming theory, a wonderful cultural connection, that its iconic appearance, the dark chocolate shavings representing the dense forest, the pristine white cream symbolizing snow, and the vibrant red cherries echoing the pom-poms.
The ball and hut again.
Exactly. Was directly inspired by the traditional ball and hut costume we discussed earlier. It's a wonderful example of how culinary and cultural symbols intertwine.
And just as iconic, we have the Schwarzwälder Schinken Black Forest ham, another product whose character and truly unique, savory flavor are inextricably linked to its place of origin, a taste you truly can't find anywhere else. Expert, what's the secret behind its distinctive flavor?
That unique, intensely savory flavor is the result of a meticulous, time-honored process that has been passed down through generations. And that's why it's earned Protected Geographical Indication, or PGI status within the EU, a guarantee of its authenticity.
PGI status. Okay, so what's the process?
Well, the production begins with carefully selected raw ham, which is then dry-cured by hand with a specific blend of salt and spices. This blend typically includes garlic, coriander, pepper, and crucially, wild juniper berries.
Juniper berries from the forest.
Yes, they grow abundantly in the Black Forest and impart this distinctive aromatic note. After this initial curing process, the ham undergoes its signature transformation. It's cold smoked for several weeks. And this isn't just any smoke. It happens over smoldering sawdust and shavings from local conifers, specifically fir and pine.
Smoked over fir and pine.
Yes, it is this unique cold smoking process, coupled with a particular local wood, that imparts the ham with its deep, rich, smoky flavor and its characteristic, almost black exterior. Each slice tells the story of the forest itself, a truly artisanal product that captures the essence of the region.
And we can't talk about the gâteau or even the ham without highlighting the essential spirit that defines the cake and stands on its own as a celebrated product. Kirschwasser itself. It's a versatile and powerful spirit, isn't it?
Absolutely. Kirschwasser, which literally translates to cherry water, is far more complex than just an ingredient for cake. It is not a sweet liqueur, as some might assume.
Right, it's strong stuff.
Very. It's a powerful, clear fruit brandy, or eau de vie, typically bottled at a robust 40% to 50% alcohol by volume. It's traditionally distilled from the double fermentation of sour morello cherries, and importantly, this includes their pits, which impart a subtle, almost almond-like note to the finished spirit, adding a layer of complexity.
Includes the pits. Interesting.
Yeah, it adds that nuance. And the prevalence of Kirsch in the Black Forest is a direct result of the local landscape. The region's unique climate and soil are perfectly suited for growing the specific types of sour cherries required for its distinctive, unsweetened flavor profile. This isn't an industrial product in the way many spirits are. It's a widespread local craft, deeply embedded in the culture. There are over 14,000 small, often family-run distilleries scattered throughout the Black Forest.
14,000.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's traditionally served neat in a small, tulip-shaped glass as a digestive after a meal. It offers a pure, unadulterated expression of the forest's fruit, a perfect palate cleanser and conversation starter.
And it's this very regional identity, so clearly tasted in the Kirschwasser and the ham, that brings us to a crucial, broader point about the Black Forest's protected culinary treasures. This isn't just about taste, is it, expert? It sounds like there's a deeper protection at play here. What exactly are these cultural fortifications you mentioned?
You've hit on a really important insight, host. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the legally protected status of the ham and the key ingredient of the cake, Kirschwasser, represents far more than simple quality control for discerning palates. In a globalized world where a product name can easily become generic, for instance, Black Forest ham might simply refer to a general deli meat style in places like the United States, bearing little resemblance to the original.
Right, you see that everywhere.
Exactly. These EU regulations function as modern-day cultural fortifications. They are, in essence, a legal declaration that the place itself, the Black Forest, is inseparable from the product. This legal framework protects the region's unique identity, its centuries-old traditions, and its vital economy from imitation and dilution. It ensures that when you see Schwarzwälder Schenken or purchase authentic Kirsch, you are guaranteed a product of specific origin, made according to traditional methods using local ingredients.
So it's about authenticity and place.
Precisely. So enjoying these foods in their authentic setting is truly not just a culinary experience. It's an act of engaging with a protected cultural artifact. It's a taste of the true terroir or essence, the Black Forest itself. It underscores how deeply interwoven the reality of the place is with the cultural myths and the reputations it has meticulously built and legally defended over centuries.
This entire deep dive is making me want to pack my bags immediately. So let's move into planning your own fairy tale. For those of you inspired to visit, the Black Forest is surprisingly accessible, making it an ideal destination. You've got international airports like Frankfurt to the north and Zurich to the south, both serving as excellent gateways. Each is just a comfortable 1 to 2 hour train ride from the region's main towns and cultural hubs. Pretty easy to get to. Once you're there, the primary decision for exploration is whether to rent a car or rely on public transport. Renting a car, naturally, offers the greatest flexibility. It allows you to venture off the beaten path, make spontaneous stops at breathtaking scenic viewpoints, and access those more remote, charming areas that public transport might miss. It's truly the ideal way to experience the legendary Schwarzwald or Black Forest High Road, which is the B500. The B500, right? The famous driving road.
Exactly. This iconic 60-kilometer scenic drive winding between Baden-Baden and Freudenstadt is considered one of Europe's finest. Imagine exhilarating glass-smooth curves, sweeping views over mist-filled valleys, and direct access to highlights like the mystical Lake Mummelsee, shrouded in legends of mermaids and water spirits, and the regenerative Lothar Path we talked about earlier, where nature is reclaiming its ground. It's an experience that truly connects you to the vastness and beauty of the forest.
Sounds amazing. But what about the alternative? Public transport.
Alternatively, for those who prefer a more relaxing and sustainable way to travel, Germany's famously efficient public transportation network is an excellent choice. The trains and buses are reliable, punctual, and will comfortably get you to many of the key towns, attractions, and hiking trailheads without the need to navigate winding mountain roads, worry about parking, or deal with driving fatigue.
Less stress, maybe.
Definitely less stress. Traveling by train, for instance, offers a unique perspective. It allows you to sit back, gaze out at the passing scenery, and truly immerse yourself in the landscape without the stresses of driving. You can simply enjoy the journey, perhaps with a local pastry and a cup of coffee, letting the Black Forest unfold before your eyes. Many regional passes also offer excellent value, making it a cost-effective way to explore.
So we've journeyed from the dark, mythic shadows that initially gave the Black Forest its name, through its majestic, ever-evolving landscapes and the profound ecological lessons of its national park, to the ingenious crafts, timeless towns, and distinctive culinary delights that define its vibrant human heart. What stands out to me most powerfully is how truly inseparable the stories and the places are here, creating this dynamic interplay of primeval nature, deeply rooted traditions, ingenious creativity, and protected cultural identity. It's a region that actively invites you to step into its narrative.
Absolutely. And as you reflect on this deep dive, maybe consider this provocative thought for your own exploration. How much of a place's identity, especially one as iconic and storied as the Black Forest, is not just found in its landscapes and its history, but is actively forged and curated through human imagination, through art, and even through legal protections like those for the ham and Kirschwasser?
Forged and curated. Interesting.
Yeah. How does knowing this transform your perception of a destination? Does it make it less a static picture on a postcard and more a living, evolving story? A story that you, as a visitor or observer, become an active, contributing part of. It's a question that makes every journey, every observation, and every story so much richer and more profound, I think.
A truly fantastic way to look at it, a challenge to see beyond the surface. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the enchanting, mysterious, and utterly captivating Black Forest. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep stepping into those stories that shape our world.